Americans woke up to scenes of destruction once again today.
On Brazil's front line, the casualties are mounting horrifically.
30 million people out of work.
Tough times don't last long. You gotta keep on, keep on, keep on. You are much stronger than you know, you know, you know, you know. The sun doesn't shine all the time. Shine, shine. You gotta have the rain to help you grow. Every day is a battlefield. Feels like the world is after you. You gotta put your armor on. You will make it through. Tough times don't last long. You gotta keep on, keep on, keep on. You are much stronger than you know. You know, you know, you know. Tough times don't last long. You gotta keep on, keep on, keep on. You are much stronger than you know. You know, you know, you know. I know it's been crazy, but you can't lose the pride in what you have and who you are. Continue to fight. I know that it's worn you down. You gotta fight to survive. You are something special. Continue to shine. Tough times don't last long. You gotta keep on, keep on, keep on. You are much stronger than you know, you know, you know, you know. Tough times don't last long. You gotta keep on, keep on, keep on. You are much stronger than you know.
Years change, the decades go by, and the sad truth remains.
I got the candles up in here, setting out the vibe right, you know what I mean? Tony, yeah. Meditation I do on the regular. Most of the time I don't be on my cellular. Mother nature a vibe, I'm telling you. If I don't keep it real, then I'm failing you. You a guy, they don't want you to know it. You got light that's within and you glowing. Fuck the shit that the matrix is showing. Only you gon' find out where you going. I can never go back to the old me. If you been out my life, you don't know me. Once I control my mind, I control me. I let go of the lies that they told me. I'ma stand on my words, nigga, boldly. I was trapped, now I'm setting my soul free. Yeah, huh? I was trapped, now I'm setting my soul free. I'm not spending all day on the gram, nigga. I be treating these streets like they fam, nigga. Most my family don't know who I am, nigga. To be honest, I don't give a damn, nigga. Think I'm crazy when they on my channel. There is nothing my mind couldn't handle. Getting grounded, I don't need no sandals. Set the vibe with some incense and candles. You can do what you want, you a god, boy. There's no reason you can't beat the odds, boy. Don't you convict yourself cause you tried, boy. Get back up when you fall like surprise, boy. And stay happy cause you is alive, boy. There's so many that done died, boy. Money won't bring you good vibes, boy. Only peace you gon' find is inside, boy. Meditation I do on the regular. Most of the time I don't be on my cellular. Mother nature a vibe, bro, I'm telling you. If I don't keep it real, then I'm failing you. You a guy, they don't want you to know it.
Hey, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, Star Seeds. Good evening. Yes. That is the new intro video. Thank you, sis. Peace and blessings. Thank you for being in the building. This is Pronoia Star Seed Podcast. This is a Thankful Thursdays, and we are in the building. We're going to have a special guest tonight. I have been on his show twice. He has finally made his way over to my show, and I will also be premiering a new show on Saturday with Sunshine Monet on Do the Knowledge Radio on YouTube. So I'm going to give him a second. He's going to come and join us, and his name is Knowledge Born Allah. But before I bring him on, how y'all doing tonight? Hey, peace and blessings. Thank you all for being in the building. Yes. Yes, on time for you. Yes, I know, girl, right? I'm trying to get better. But listen, let me just tell y'all, for me to be on time and not have a sitter for the two youngest. Oh yes, I'm a beast tonight. So y'all go ahead, give me that. Where is it? Yay to me. Yay. All right, I ain't gonna touch nothing else, producer. Okay, so yes to me. Yay, I got here. Yeah, I got me a mentor. Peace and blessings again. Thank you all for being in the building. Yes, Knowledge has put me on to being on time a little bit. But again, he's been putting me on to a couple of things. He told me one day, he was like, if you ain't telling me, let me check my calendar, I might not even believe that you busy. I said, oh shit, let me get my calendar out and make sure I put him on the calendar. So yeah, shout out to Knowledge Born who's gonna be joining us. But yes, thank you. Peace and blessings, Karen. Thank you for being in the building. And again, did you see the intro? I hope you caught the intro. If not, you can check it out on YouTube. And again, Starseeds, please subscribe to my YouTube page, because guess what? In August, I will no longer be doing my lives via Facebook. I know it's been home for a while, but I got to start transitioning over. So I need you all to like, share, subscribe my YouTube page, please. I appreciate you. Yes, it's new. It says I've been there since 2012, but it is not true. I've just been lurking and watching other people, but now it's my chance to be there. So please make sure you're there with me, because that's where all the lives will be as of August. So just know that. All right. Yes. Peace and blessings to my sis, who also, if you have not checked her out yet, introducing podcasts on YouTube. Also Do the Knowledge Radio on YouTube for Knowledge Born Allah. I've been on a couple of podcasts, so if you have not seen them, go check them out. I think I actually have a playlist you will be able to check on YouTube, and it says like appearances, so you can see past appearances. And if you're looking for me, particularly in the Godathon, you're gonna have to go to the second day in the seventh hour. It might have been the 7th to the 8th hour, somewhere in there. But go ahead and watch the Godathon. You'll catch me and Sunshine Anderson. Yes, I'm Sunshine Anderson. Lord, what am I talking about today? Sunshine Monet. You'll see me and Sunshine there with Knowledge Born Allah. We are about in the 7:40 hour. We came on and we brought that divine feminine energy into the building. He had a Godathon, y'all. I was there for it this weekend, and I'm gonna tell you, that's some realness. Now, I did talk about going live for a long time, but I never did it. This man did it. So we will be doing, you will see me more with the gentleman I'll be bringing to the stage in about a few minutes. First, we're gonna, if you have not checked out Do the Knowledge Radio, please look it up on YouTube. And I'm going to show you a short clip of his intro, and then we're going to bring Knowledge Born Allah to the stage. So, all right, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Van Glorious, Vanguard.
Knowledge Born.
Yeah.
United Front. What you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got?
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for that.
Hey. Yes. So, there we go. Peace and blessings, King. Can you hear me? We gonna mic check 1 2 1 2. You hear me? Okay. I see you vibing. You are now with us, Knowledge. You are with us on the screenshot.
Peace.
Peace and blessings. How are you?
I'm doing well. The sun treated me well, and I treated the day very, very well. You understand what I'm saying? I had
Yes,
a date.
yes.
I put my date under my arm, called my day, and we were sashaying and strolling and booed up. Me and my day all day. We had a good day today. You understand what I'm saying? How
That's
about
what's
you?
up. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for coming to the platform. You know, I've been over there on Do the Knowledge Radio.
Yeah.
And now you over here on Pronoia Star Seed. So I hope you get nice and comfortable.
I'm clapping that up. Let me tell you something. That intro though. My intro, I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to turn my intro down and turn your intro up. You understand what I'm saying? That intro? That intro? Yeah, that's what it was.
I appreciate you. Yes, yes. So, Knowledge, I want you to introduce yourself to the people here, my Star Seeds who may not have ever met you before, and let them know where they can find you on YouTube.
Okay. If I could start like this, I want to give honor to our Creator.
Yes, yes.
I want to give honor to our divine ancestors, those righteous forces of nature, that ancestral royal bloodline that we descend from. We give honor and credence to them. We venerate them and hold them in high esteem. So it's in those names that I greet you, because without them, there would be no me. You heard? So it's an honor and a privilege to be here. And Pronoia, Star Seed, making reproduction space. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to the Star Seeds who are making Star Seeds, who are making Star Seeds, who are making Star Seeds to the 7th and the 10th generation. I'm knowledgeable in the law, as Foxy Roxy did say, the divine God herself, you understand, did say. I got a platform. I've been around for a little while. You know, I got a couple of episodes out there.
A couple.
Yeah, a couple thousand, you know, through the Knowledge Radio. And it's like this, you know. This is that place where knowledge is born. It's a beautiful place of celebration. It's a beautiful place of empowerment. It's a beautiful place of celebration for our people. You know, it's one of them for us. You know, they had FUBU when we was growing up. They said for us, by us. You know, we found out later it wasn't for us, by us. But with that fufu though, that fufu, you understand what I'm saying? For us. Okay, it's for us and for us. Yes. You know, you can't even use a spoon for it. You got to use your hands. You gotta. This is the for us. Okay, so yeah, definitely in the space of celebration. So shout out to the Star Seed. Y'all are brilliant. Y'all are remarkable. This is an amazing platform that y'all put together here. Y'all have some amazing people, some talented people with bars. Since what was the sister name? What did just have the bar? I was like, okay. Right? I just scrunched my face up. You understand what I'm saying? With the bars, you know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, I love this place. So let me be quiet.
So first of all, thank you for popping in on my show. Like, again, I met Knowledge through a mutual friend here, Miss Lisa. We went to Clubhouse, and on there I had been introduced to Knowledge, and I'm going to tell you that, like, I never, like, when I say and Knowledge, I'm going to tell you, you are so were you aware of your human design before I sent you that information?
Nope.
Okay. So Knowledge, y'all, is a projector, and he is the hardest working projector I have ever seen in my life. Like, I never would have thought you were a projector, because how many shows you do in a day. Like, and when I say he had a God-a-thon, y'all, this past weekend, when did the show start and when did it end?
We started on Friday at 12. And we went from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Do you hear that? 12 to 12 for 3 days straight. You want to talk about hard work. People be thinking I'm on my platform a lot. Oh, you on a lot. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. And it's beautiful because if you go back and look at some of the past shows that Knowledge has done, everybody has been on this platform. Like everybody. And when did you start Do the Knowledge Radio?
About 7 years ago, I began on this journey. So I'm approaching my God anniversary next month. It began in Black August, towards the end, in ode to one of the star seeds the world may know as Michael Jackson. See what I'm saying? So in that space, around his time, we began. And shout out to my brother Black Dot. Many of y'all may have seen if y'all tuned in. On Saturday, I saw Black Dot come through. His born days around that time. So, he was getting mad Virgo-ish. You understand what I'm saying? With the Virgoosity. You understand? So an ode to them, and an ode to my younger sister who's, her born day is on the 29th of August. Do Knowledge Radio was formed in that space, with the space for Black August and so many of those phenomenal people and accomplishments that took place in it. So we wanted to be one of those shining lights in history.
And so you started Do the Knowledge Radio where you did this by yourself, or how did you start? And then now we're on like YouTube. Were you on YouTube back like 7 years ago? Like how did you start?
Well, I started on Blog Talk Radio. I was on Blog Talk. I did about close to 1,300 episodes over there or so, something around that. And it was crazy. Look, y'all trying to steal some of this book that I'm writing out of me.
Oh,
you
no.
understand what I'm saying? Like
My bad.
It's all good. You see, that's why she a star seed maker. She making me into, one of them star seeds right now. See what I'm saying? So,
no, you already a star seed. And as a projector, you are definitely a star seed. So I just noticed that, again, when I got introduced to you and we met on Clubhouse, I went in and of course I started doing my research and looking at your shows, and you just have a lot of information, your knowledge. And there's a lot of knowledge there. And when I say that there's all walks of life, when I say that there are everybody, I've seen almost everybody on that show, and there's just continue to grow. And to see that you can continue to have that many guests for 3 days in a row, that shows the loyalty, for one, that people have to you and your show. To be able to come through for 3 days straight, you had guests like continuously. And that is really dope. Like that tells you the type of person that you are, that you draw people into you. And again, Knowledge is a projector. And that is something that projectors tend to do. They pull people into them because they have to wait for the invitation. So on your road to now 7 years in, like, what are the biggest changes have you seen? Because I know that there's been an awakening over this time, or people have been more knowledgeable about, self and, spirituality and, community. What is the biggest shift that you've seen since you started Do the Knowledge Radio?
That's an excellent question. I'm telling you, I'm about to clap it up for the question. I've been places where you'd be surprised the kind of stuff they ask you. You understand what I'm saying? So I would say the biggest shift that I saw in consciousness, goes in degrees. It ebbs and flows. You go through that 5 stages of grief with what you knew. There's a death that takes place. You see what I'm saying? You go through the 5 stages of grief, and then you wake up like Neo out of the Matrix. He thought he had everything controlled, and in that space, he was a hacker, and he was doing what he needed to do. And then he came over there, and he realized that everything that he thought he knew was something that was manufactured. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a lie. It just was manufactured. So we come into an awakening period, and we have a gestation period of awakening. So just like with the Matrix, he was like, why does my eyes hurt? He said, because you never used them before. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So immediately some of the stages people go through, they go through anger and resentment. I feel like I've been lied to my whole life, and then you start projecting that onto your family. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How come y'all didn't tell me and blah blah blah? Like you come in the house. I know somebody said I went in the house and grabbed the Christmas tree and I threw it outside and I went and took all the pork out of the house. Like it was different extremes in regards to that. And this isn't designed for any of that. It's really designed for you to have a patience and a grace in space, and then slowly introduce concepts, not just through your words, but through your ways in action. But there's no manual, there's no class. I'm woke now, what? You see what I'm saying? Like, or I'm conscious now, like, what do I do? So just as lost as Neo was, Neophyte, he was like, I'm the one, but what does the one do? You see what I'm saying? So there were some things that was skipped. Just like in our lives, there were some things that were skipped. There were some things that were intentionally left out because it's designed for you to get them when you're ready for them. Versus, because if you remember that, he had some rage about that. Who decided, when it was time for me to know? And the oracle just said, you know who. And she pointed up at that sign that said, no, know thyself. He was like, I decided. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we go through a lot of this turmoil that we see. And these are all the shifts in the stages of consciousness in regards to our development, our human contact with it. So you go through these processes and these things happen spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychospiritually, and then down matriculating into the physical realm. So this is the last place to know, because so you're the last one to know physically all of these things that you are already in tune with in the divine space. So watching these shifts take place over this period, you've seen a lot of the rage and a lot of the resentment, and my parents still in church, getting lied to, and look, guess who not looking at white Jesus? All of this stuff, like all of those things are very distasteful and very disrespectful. But you don't know, because that's the stage you're in. You're in that stage of resentment. So you can't see the forest for the trees. You're like, oh, y'all still reading that Bible? Oh, y'all still stuck on that Quran? Oh, y'all caught up in religion? There's all of this crazy stuff that we begin to espouse, and we think that that's supposed to be something that's righteous. You see what I'm saying? If you learned something, there's nothing I ever learned, Roxy. Nothing I ever learned that had me at odds with my family. Nothing. There's nothing I could read. There's no place I could go. There was nowhere that I could sit. There was nothing that I learned anywhere. And I learned a few things over the years and went through all of the mystery schools and things like that. I never came home and had an argument with my mother. You understand what I'm saying? Right. I never came. It was never no issues like that. I might have had debates with people in the street back and forth. Just, you a young bull testing his horns, but never to my family. It was never a space of dishonor. Everybody is where they are in their space of spiritual development and on their pathway. And if y'all so happen to become like mind or air-like on a particular level, then y'all converse. Otherwise than that, you respect them for who they are. They're your family member. They're your loved one. You see what I'm saying? So as we see the shift, back to your question, as we see the shift from the mindset that was very bullheaded, very pig-headed, and very disrespectful, we see an awakening and a quickening taking place where we're learning that kind of grace. We're seeking that kind of harmony and balance. And that shift goes back to as a result of us moving out of this mindset of masculine, patriarchal foolishness back into the divine awakening of our divine feminine, our divine matriarchal, our godmother space. So forgive us for all of the transgressions that have happened over the years. These are the things that come along with the process. So just think about it like labor pains. You see what I'm saying? Just think about it like labor pains. The gestation period is a very rough and trying period. You see what I'm saying? Some people, you might go as close to death as possible. And even in the conception space, you get very, very close to death. And some folks often transition during giving birth.
Yep.
From ancestral time to now, in that space. But then think about the life after the life is brought into the physical world, this gift that's on the planet. You see what I'm saying? So the labor pains, the gestation period, the swollen feet, the kicking, the nausea. You understand? Like all of
I know.
spaces where life is growing in your womb, it doesn't look pleasing to you. It doesn't. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't look pleasing to you. However, that's what healing looks like. This is what birthing. This is part of the birthing process. So in that space, you're supposed to be surrounded by people who have an understanding of what you're going through, and they can be there for you, so they can understand, and you can have an understanding of what that birthing process is like. So consciousness is just like that. It's a thrust. You see what I'm saying? It's a thrust in out of the womb space into life, and now you're supposed to have someone to nurture you properly. You see what I'm saying? So just like that umbilical cord intravenously. So the wise ones who are amongst us, the wise divine ones who give me guidance, to teach me, those mothers, they taught me a certain kind of way. And I was rough, I was rugged, I was crazy. You understand what I'm saying? I was fighting and bucking. And then after enough ass whoopings from my divine mothers, I understood what it was. You see what I'm saying? So from my physical mother to my spiritual mothers to my godmothers and the like, there's an understanding to come along with it. So once you come into and become into that fullness and begin to walk in those order steps, your perceptions change. Those things that you thought you knew, and all of those things, that process of becoming, you walk into greatness and you begin to ascend.
See? You already took away my last question. Well, not my last question, my next question, which was so again, I have dialogue before with Knowledge. If you've not checked it out before, I've been on your show twice, right? It was just me one time, and then the second time on the Godathon, it was me and Sunshine Monet. And I've also been in his presence when we were on Clubhouse. And there is a certain amount of honest respect for the feminine energy that I receive every time I encounter Knowledge. So the first time I was getting ready to come on to Knowledge Born's show, I told him how nervous I was. And he made it very clear, like, there's no need to be nervous at all, because he understands the feminine energy. And I say this because even on my own platform, there are times where the masculine energy feels somewhat challenged when I start to speak of the feminine energy that has come into this, this new awakening. And in some presence of some masculine energy, that concept is not even welcomed. It's not even a welcome discussion. It's not something that they even want to hear about or talk about. They want me to just talk about burning candles and sage and, all of this stuff. They don't really want to tell me explain why we're doing it at this time, or why we're going and tapping back into things that we used to do right now. They don't want to get to the root of it. Again, it at first hindered me from doing a show that was so focused on the feminine energy, because I wanted to bring in both masculine and feminine energy, because the masculine has to know that it encompasses both, right? Because it comes from feminine energy. And in order for you to be fully empowered, you have to have both. It's two eyes in your face. You can have one eye, and sure, it might be strong as hell, and you can see all of this on your left, but you have a blind spot if you do not have the activation of the feminine energy. And for so long, we have had a blind spot. And to be in the presence of someone who does not have that blind spot, it's a little different, because sometimes, again, when you're in the presence of masculine energy, you have to kind of pull back that excess, knowing that we're in this feminine age now, because it's like still not to be spoken of, I mean, everybody should know it, but it's still something that's still kind of hush hush. Like, y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all don't understand why your inner intuition is kicking in so much, or why you feeling this and feeling that, like right now. But when I met you in the clubhouse, for one, and then even after in our dialogues, it's always been this respect for the feminine energy. And I was going to ask you where it kind of came from. And I guess you can go more into it, but as you said, you were raised around this type of energy that you saw what it can do. You saw the influence that it had. So I wanted you to just, let me know how you became so in tune with that. Because again, when I felt comfortable enough that when he first asked me, like, oh, you're going to be on the show, I'm just like, yeah, of course. And I don't take, like, again, I'm a projector. I wait for invitation, but I don't take every invitation that I receive, because I don't feel comfortable on every platform that I go to. I'm like, and I'm going to use this because I feel like Sade is a singer that has like a lane, right? She stays in her lane. She don't be trying to sing like Mariah Carey, and she don't be trying, and that's me. I stay in my lane. I don't want to go somewhere where people are going to be going, like, I'm not a debater. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to uplift the consciousness. I'm here to help people spark their memory of who they were. So whenever I go into the presence of another person and I'm talking about what I do, I want to be in a presence where what I have to say is welcome. And I will tell you that I felt very comfortable on your platform, even to the point where I'm willing to even come on there on my Saturdays off, because it's like, I feel like that's where I'm supposed to be. Like, the invitation came. Again, I'm a projector. I wait for invitation, and it came. And then me and Sunshine's energy, if you guys had not tapped in, Sunshine Monet was on the show, and her energy and my energy, it's different, but it is harmony. It complements each other. So Knowledge reached out to both of us and was like, yo, why don't y'all come to the platform? And again, that was the acknowledgement of this masculine energy, this place where there's a lot of masculine energy. I like to have some feminine energy over here. And I just want to know where that comes from, where you feel so comfortable with that.
Well, do Knowledge Radio, first of all, that was another excellent question to me. But I'm telling you, I just be going places, they be like, so, what's your favorite color? Do you like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Be asking crazy stuff like that. But this was an excellent question, because my platform story is built off of my mother. And if anyone knows me, they know the connection that I share with my mother. My mother was a healer in the physical world, and she's a healer and ascended healer in the spiritual world. So her connection and my connection, she healed with herbs, and she taught me how to heal through words. So these words begin to speak from the spirit out. So oftentimes they may be rejected, just like when you're working with herbs. When they ingest the herbs, initially it's bitter. You understand? Some of that, if you had somebody that was a heroin addict and they went into one of those nods, and you put some valerian root by their nose, it'll wake them up out of that nod. Literally. You know how they got the smelling sauce when you're knocked out? They put the smelling salt by you. Yeah, it raises the dead. You understand what I'm saying? And it smells like purity poop. You understand what I'm saying? So that's like something that could raise the dead, but it's good for you. It may not necessarily taste good to you, but it's good for you. So my mother was working in those healing spaces. And just like with consciousness, you are speaking to somebody's spirit space that may be alarmed by your presence. So just like you were saying in regards to you linking up with different people, your presence is powerful and overwhelming, and they don't know what to do with that. So to the sisters out there, give us a little grace, okay? We got a fly X and we got a slow Y. You understand what I'm saying? We got a fly X. The X is fly like pooh, pooh, shoo, shoo, shoo. But we got this slow Y. The Y is a little slow. You see what I'm saying? We're a little slow out here. So over time in space, these things have happened. So my mother, she told me when she initially meets people, she's prepared for their skepticism. So she's prepared for their skepticism, their nervousness, and how do you know this? And the doctors don't know this. She was prepared for all of those things that come along with that. So she was prepared because she studied and she trained and she learned her healing job, particularly with me. It began with her, with her own self, and then it was trickled down with me in the conditions of my birth in the first couple of years of my life. So in that healing space, the sacredness became a space with the story. So within the story therein contained was there needed to be a place where her story was told through me. And then in turn, a space where our sisters were honored and celebrated. There was so much viral craziness going on the internet and these proposed agenda, gender wars. So brothers and sisters looked like they were at each other's throats on the internet. So this thing that was on the internet was only really on the internet until it began to spill over into real life. The impressionable conscious minds out here are seeing this. You'd be like, hey, today's Tuesday and I'm feeling happy. You got 600 comments and they're like, what you happy about? It ain't actually Tuesday. Y'all still using Tuesday? Like you going through all of this stuff because you left a comment on the internet. You see what I'm saying? And it's a bunch of fools, the slow wise up there, slow wying. You understand what I'm saying? I don't understand what kind of man would argue with a woman on the internet. You understand? Or period. A difference of opinion is a difference of opinion, but I don't know. I don't come from that class where we're going back and forth with women. You see what I'm saying? So this is, an interesting thing that you have to adjust to. So with that ode to my mother and me being a protector of my sisters, of the women in my life, high regard for my mother, my aunts, you see what I'm saying? All of those things, I would never find myself in a position where it would be conflict. It was like one or two instances in my life where that wasn't the case. But by and large, this was what it was. So coming under that particular instruction, ancestrally, I was chosen by my grandmother and out of 7 children, as my mother was chosen by her mother out of 15. So with that choice, I didn't have a choice. You understand what I'm saying? But I did have a choice, so I thought in my mind. And I tried everything in my space not to adhere to the instructions. And when you don't adhere to the instructions, you get those ass whoopings. You understand what I'm saying? So you get those whoopings until you get back in line with your purpose. And you can't find any peace anywhere. You could try to act like what you call quote unquote normal. You could try to act like everybody else. You could try to act like you don't know what's going on. You're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. It was that scene that I was talking about in Kill Bill, where Uma Thurman's character was talking to David Carradine's character, and he was telling her the story about Superman. He said Superman was mimicking a human as Clark Kent. Everybody else was a human mimicking a superhero character. They had to dress up. They had to put on a costume. They had to pretend like they were somebody else in order to reveal their power. Superman was pretending like he was human. So him pretending to be Clark Kent was his assessment of humans. Clumsy, frightful, timid. So this was his opinion. So this is why he thought he had to be the protector of humans. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this was an interesting thing where you would see the destruction of humankind come as a symbol personified in that skin to be the protector for humankind. So all of these things are very interesting with the things that we're seeing. So if they saw a woman as their protector, that would be more aligned with their psycho-spiritual being, because she is your protector. You seek refuge in her womb space. This is the only place where you can seek refuge. So you go from that womb space into the womb space of your house, your dwelling. So if you don't have a womb space to exist in reality, they call you homeless. You understand what I'm saying? So now with this not receiving or not following the divine instructions from this womb or cutting off relations with the wombs that bore you, as Islam teaches, you have just separated yourself from that womb of protection. So if you don't stay in that womb space to receive those instructions, you go out here and not only do you get your ass whooped spiritually, you get it in life. So these things are stumbling blocks for you, set up to get your attention, for you to remember that womb space, to seek refuge in that womb space, to get back in divine alignment with that mother womb consciousness that bore you, that made you great. Remember when you were winning. You know, we got all of this, you know, quote unquote masculine energy, and whether you come from the Americas, you native to this landmass, or you come from Africa, you were native to that landmass, wherever your ancestral DNA allows you to be aligned with, it's mother. You're on Mother Earth. You understand what I'm saying? It's mother energy. So that mother space that gives you that personality for you to disagree now with mother. When you were feeble, you couldn't walk and you couldn't talk and you needed nourishment and you needed sustenance. Who provided you sustenance in the unseen world and in the physical world? So who else would nurture you? You see what I'm saying? Who would rear you? Who would raise you? And if we saw the divine complement, that is the divine masculine, giving reverence and honor to that womb space, because we are an example, we are the guide, we are the protector, we are the maintainer. If we saw this righteously, then we would realign our personification. But we see a bunch of suckers out here being suckers and using this narrative, and it's very destructive narrative, for profit and for gain. So that reverence for the womb space, even though it was tumultuous at times, even though I tried to veer off to the left and to the right, the functionality of ascension goes when you grow into that womb space. You see what I'm saying? Versus going away from it. And I had guides along the way. You know, I had guides along the way throughout my life. Whether I went kicking and screaming or I just was moving in divine alignment. So some of those, you know, instances were challenging, and others, they were remarkable. So all of this came to the space where I created a place where knowledge is born, again, born out of that womb, born out of that cosmic space, where our sisters could be celebrated. Their ideas could be honored. They didn't have to shrink themselves. They didn't have to pull back, like you said. You see what I'm saying? They could just be full tilt and do what they need to do. They can stop apologizing for the greatness that's you. So when Mawu was on with Shaniqua Lino, and they did an amazing divine feminine goddess presentation to the family, I just asked our godmother, like, you can give that back to your father. You can give that back to him. You say, hey, yo, I appreciate you for that, you know, that on pointness in regards to that, but you don't have to shrink yourself anymore. You're ascending. You don't have to shrink yourself. You don't have to apologize anymore. It might be habitual. It might have served you in other spaces and places, but you are no longer apologizing for being righteous. You are no longer apologizing for being gifted, for being intuitive, for being on point. Even in the mess that is the kind of age we're coming out of, we still seen in certain instances, if you watch movies or read books, you know, the sister would tell him, like, why don't you just stay home with me tonight? I got a bad feeling. You should, even all the way down to that movie, what is it, Us?
Yep.
That would have been the shortest movie in history. You understand? Pull up somewhere. Queen, like, I got a bad feeling. We out. You understand? We out. We're going. He like, just chill, blah, blah, blah. He got other thoughts on his mind, and this is what the other thoughts got him. It almost cost him his life. And everybody didn't get out of that situation unscathed. So all of that because this intuitive thought that was there was synced from the unseen to the seen. And this is all it took. And after the first scene, he wasn't no good the whole rest of the movie. See what I'm saying? So because he wasn't in alignment with what was going on, he had other motivations. This is what happened. He limping for the rest of the movie. The one who's supposed to be the provider and the protector, he is now like he got a demotion basically. And she told him in the movie, like, you can't make decisions no more. Basically, you compromised. And this is, what happened initially with the betrayal in the first place. So with us as men, betraying our sisters, betraying our mothers, betraying our daughters, this is what happened. So it's time to set the record straight. This is our last opportunity out there us to be in the space that we were created to be in and operate in that space.
Yes, absolutely. So it's crazy to hear it, but y'all heard it from a divine masculine. I don't have to say it because it's different when it comes from a feminine energy, but again, you heard it yourselves. I ain't had to say it. He just pulled it right there. I ain't say nothing the whole time. And when I say that when you acknowledge the actual role, the places, the actual role in which the feminine energy plays, everything else falls into place. It will not hurt you. It will not demote you. It will not change your status. It will only uplift you as a man, a masculine, and everything else if you acknowledge it. Because living out of alignment has not been helping us. If you're not looked around lately, shit ain't right. But a lot of people have been starting to turn within. That's why so much going on outside to distract us from going within. And within is where it lives. So this energy that has come in again with this new sun, we talked about that, every 26,000 years we get a new sun. In the first 26,000 years, we were under the masculine sun. We are now under the divine feminine energy. It happened on December 21st, 2021, the actual transition. 2012 is when the transition began. And this new, if you can accept certain things, if you can just at least open your mind to certain things, there will be a shift. And if we all start to open our mind to certain things, everything will shift. Because this is a collective dream. This is a collective consciousness. You see, me shifting my mind, yes, my world will start to shift. But me, again, sparking in each starseed in them, the shift shifts everything. And so to know and to have a divine masculine be able to speak so clearly on how this feminine energy actually works is actually should be put back where it belongs. Because I had a whole show. I had to, I right after the mother show, I was confronted by a divine masculine who came at me all kinds of wrong because I knew that once I spoke on what I spoke on, the energy was going to shift. But to be in the presence, to be in the energy, to be around someone who can acknowledge that there is a shift and that if we get on board and start putting things back to where they're supposed to be, where they were, that we can actually improve our consciousness, we can actually tap back into our higher connections, y'all. Because he was talking about that X and that Y chromosome, right? And if you've never looked at it, just scientifically go and look at it. Look at the size of the X and the size of the Y chromosome. It's telling you something about what created everything to begin with and what came from it. You understand? Like an X, if you put an X like this, it's a full X, right? But if it loses a piece of it, it's a Y. you would have to add a piece to a Y. You understand? So then the X can't come from the Y, but the Y can come from the X. Y'all think about that. You know, we're the wombed man, meaning that the man came from the womb. The womb had to be here first. The womb had to be here to bring the man. Open up your eyes. And if you just shift that slight consciousness that we've been learning, everything else will shift. The way you treat the women around you, and then the information you will receive from divine feminine around you. Because as Knowledge spoke on, sometimes they had to go to the woman. And if you, again, we spoke about this, how kings went to oracles. What were the oracles? Feminine energy. In the Bible, over and over, the man that findeth a wife findeth a great thing. Why? Because he is tapped in. He is tapped into the divine feminine energy directly. So whenever, again, he went to war, he come home, he'd ask. If you ever watched Troy, he went to his mother. He asked, if I go to war, Achilles went to his mother and he asked her, if I go to war, what will happen? And if I stay here and lay with this woman, what will happen? And his mother told him, if you go to war, your name will live on forever, but you will die. If you stay here with this woman, you'll have children and your name will carry on for about 2 generations and then they will die out. He wanted his name to live on. He went to his mother. Why? Because she was an oracle. Because she was tapped in. You know, if you look at all of those other movies, you know, they turn them into witches. Of course, they got to, you know, make her look real bad and have her with one damn eye or 2 eyes and she's holding them and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's always a feminine energy that is tapped in to the knowing. And so that is why the masculine energy and feminine energy, I always try to tell people, it's not about balance. It's about harmony, because we don't serve the same purposes, but we're supposed to work together. And all of this divisiveness that's been going on is because of the shift. It's because of the shift. So thank you, Knowledge. Thank you again for being that energy. And thank you, LaShawn, for the stars tonight. Thank you for sending the stars. I appreciate you. So yes, thank you again. Like I said, it's really a privilege to be in the presence of someone who can acknowledge the actual shift. That's all I want to say. It's like, it's an actual shift going on and we need to get on board. And I try to ease it in, you know, like a virgin. I try to ease it in some folks, but sometimes you just got to say it. It is what the hell it is. You know, you just got to lay it out there. And then, you know, you can baby food it. I try to baby feed, you know, but now we eating sandwiches and we getting deep into it. We about to be eating steaks in a minute. It's going to be, you can be real hard to digest when you start seeing the stuff that is starting to come into, because we're not just sitting on the planet, y'all. We're not just sitting here mobile. We are shifting, not just energies, but dimensions. So certain things, certain thought processes, certain structures are falling. So be awake and aware. And again, this shift, this energy, I give thanks for you for having just the knowledge. Everything about knowledge is knowledge. Like, even sometimes he'll correct me. And again, I appreciate it. Listen, the people around me, the divine have been putting, and I will say that the divine has been putting into my life lately have all been shifting my consciousness. And when I say words like try, knowledge be like, what you mean try? I don't even know what that means. We don't use that word here type. And I appreciate that. You know, you got to have those type of people around you, but you also got to have people around you who are in the shift with you. And that's going to help you keep your mind open to what is really going on, because everything outside of us is distraction. So I give thanks again to you. Now, as my sisters right here, I say.
So if you wanted to even take that other part a little further, the reason for the depiction of the oracle in a state that might be unsettling physically is because of the timelessness. You're talking about ancestral DNA. You're talking about mitochondrial DNA. So it looks old because it is old, but you don't have a birth record with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's that access that you have. You see what I'm saying? And even more. So to the man's eye, this is how it looks. It looks like that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you be in a conversation and be like, why are you always bringing up something from 1943? Natural. Understand that you are with an entity being that exists in the seen and the unseen simultaneously. So you might see her one way and then see her another way in the next phase. You only understand that when life comes into the womb. So is that the only time that this is inhabited? No, this is not, it doesn't come out of thin air. When you're tapped in the spirit, and even when you're not tapped in the spirit, I was laughing earlier because I saw a scene from that movie Ghost with, Whoopi Goldberg playing Oda Mae Brown. And she's in there, she got this palm thing set up, and she got people in there, and she make this grand entrance. And before she could even begin, the fact that she was naturally in tune, even unbeknownst to her, spirit had already came to her, and that spirit was led to her over there. So she could hear him, but she couldn't see him yet. Mm-hmm. So she had to acknowledge that she could hear him, and then she could see him. So look at the gifts that they showing you naturally that you possess, and how you could become anybody you needed to become. She became Rita Miller. She became all of these people. All of these things that she was looking like she was doing when she was trying to operate outside of herself was her looking like a scam artist. But when she began to come within, you see the next time she went in there, everybody and their mama was up in there. She heard everybody, she seen everybody, and the big dude jumped into her body. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at what you can tap into in regards to that when you look within, when you go within. You see what I'm saying? When you begin to ascend back into that space. You're trying to fathom the unfathomable. So just, be mindful of some of these things.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes. And that ghost. Now you're going to have that ghost reference in my head. Oda Mae Miller. My name is Oda Mae Miller. But yes, again, just look. They put it in the movies. They put it out there for you. They have to tell you. That's part of the agreement. You have to put it in. It's all a spell. It's all about us, going along with it. But they got to put it in your face. And if you acknowledge it, but you don't acknowledge it, that's not on them. It's not on them to make sure you get it as long as you see it. So, look at the movies you're watching. Look at, real life. Look at who gives birth. Look at animals. Look at real life. And you'll see how natural life is supposed to flow. We talk about the matriarch. The matriarch came before the patriarch, because the mitochondrial DNA was what the woman passed down. The queens, the kings, the female kings back then passed down to their daughters. And that's how they became the next queen. And then now it's just, it's based on the son being the oldest or the next in line, but it was actually a DNA thing back then. So it was a ritual. It was something that was taken and switched patriarchally. And it has really, if you think about it, we're just going to take the next best thing, the next firstborn, but it has nothing to do with the DNA. So knowledge. I appreciate you so much for being on this platform tonight. I thank you for bringing the knowledge to the Star Seeds, because again, we are all here to learn, and I'm learning all the time. I tell you guys, the universe is surrounding me with the most brilliant, expansive minds in different ways. And so before we go, I do want to talk to you a little bit about your human design. So knowledge, I did acknowledge that you are a projector, as I am a projector, which makes so much sense why you have a podcast and you put your information out there, but people are going to come to you for the knowledge, and then put yourself out there. So I do have a human design expert that I would love to share your information with, and I'm going to, get with you behind the scenes about your human design. But some of the information I wanted to share with you is, as a projector, I'm going to show you the banners for how the projectors energy flows. So let me go here real quick. It's been a minute. Oh, there we. Not the other one. Let's see. Here we go. Yes, right here. So knowledge, right there at the bottom is the projector. And as you see, there's 4 different types of human design. You have the manifester, the projector, the generator, and the reflector. So the generators and the manifestors are the ones who created everything. The manifestor said things was going to be. The generators started building stuff. You know, the manifestors kept saying what was going to be, and the generators would do. And then the reflectors are the ones who would come in and observe and say, look at things over and tell you like flat out, it is what it is. And that's based on their energy, right? So as you see the generators, they have that red right there in their solar plexus. It is activated. And so us projectors don't have that type of energy field. We are actually non-energy beings, meaning that we, and this is why I say you're the hardest working projector I've ever known. We aren't supposed to do as much work as generators because generators have all that energy. What we're here to do is guide and lead. So it makes so much sense that you put so much information out there for people. And let me show you the next one, the last one I was showing from the human design. Right here, as a projector, if you are not living in your non-self, you'll feel bitterness. If you are living in your signature, you'll feel success. So our signature as a projector is to feel success. We are here to wait for invitation, meaning that we don't go in and initiate anything. That is for the manifestors. We don't go in and start building everything. That is the generators. The projectors are here as guides for the generators to better use their energy. So you may notice that you have knowledge, again, that other people don't have, and they try to figure out, where are you getting this information from? How are you getting this? It's because you were actually like born to guide people. So you'll have a natural flow of wisdom that comes through you. Now, I noticed on your human design that you also had a defined head in ajna, which is great to me because I have an open head in ajna, which means that when I'm around you, I can pull from you certain ideas and thought processes because yours are defined and mine are open. And again, we'll get more into it. You saw it in your chart where the colors are. At the top where your head and stuff, that's where you're defined. The other motor skills are open for you. And that means that that's your undefined areas. Those are where you can get most of your wisdom through, your heart and different areas at the bottom. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to have Claudia get back to you. I know you're going to come back, right? I know you're going to come back to the platform.
Over here?
Yes.
They normally don't let me come back, you know. This is a miracle. Let me clap that up. Okay.
Yes, I know you're going to come back. So I'm going to have Claudia join us so we can get into your human design on our next interview with you, because I mean, we can get deeper into this. And again, there's more I want to know. But again, we've gone on for an hour, y'all. Yes, a whole hour. And I could tell you that I've learned a lot tonight. I've been enlightened. And if you do not know where to find knowledge, please tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Do the Knowledge Radio. That's DOTHAKNOWLEDGERADIO on YouTube. So
all right,
check that out. Oh, look at that. On Instagram, you can check that out. Look, I'm telling you, Knowledge Born Alive 357 on Instagram. And if I could tell your audience a secret.
Yeah.
Can I tell them a secret?
Sure.
Okay. We're doing another Godathon this weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be on again, you know, from 12 to 12. Friday is so crazy that we're starting at 11. So,
oh, wow.
You know, from 11 to 12, you see what I'm saying? So y'all can come by and y'all will be able to catch Foxy Roxy and Sunshine Monet. Look, let me tell you how good God is. She just be putting people in my life to make my life easy. You understand what I'm saying? So the goddesses, the gods will be in the building on Saturday live at 5 or 5-ish. Is it ish or 5?
We'll be there. So look, me and Sunshine now, them two on time, man. I'm gonna be there at 4:50. I'm gonna be on time, so we're gonna be there 5 to 6 on the Godathon. Me and Sunshine.
Garden. They're gonna be on their garden. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
yes.
We got some tremendous guests. If you think last week was something, that last Godathon was something, this weekend it'll be something crazy. I'm telling you, you could be like, I missed it.
Yo, for real, tap in. It's so many guests and it's so much to learn. And if you think, I mean, again, there's guests from all walks of life. My sister was on there. I did go back and watch Mau. I did go back. Yes. And I mean, it's quite a few. So it was, I mean, even when I was backstage watching, before I went on, Black Dot was on, and another guy was on, and it was dope. Like, I was learning while I was sitting there. I was like, dang, I was sitting backstage going. So listen, check out Do the Knowledge Radio. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. There's much to see. You will go back and be like, yo, this person been on there, and this person been on there, and this person been on there. Like, my mind was blown. And I will just tell you again, nothing but good energy. I thank you so much for coming to the platform. So thank you for coming back soon. And I will see you on Saturday. Yes.
Right. Peace, love, and light to the Star Seeds.
Peace, love, and light. All right. Thank you again, y'all, for tapping in. That was the God, Knowledge Born Allah. I am your girl, Foxy Roxy. This is Pronoia Starseed Podcast. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I hope you learned something. I hope you felt the energy, because I did. Whew. I was just sitting there going like this. It feels good when you get a masculine energies on that same flow. But again, I thank y'all for tapping in tonight. I am so excited. I still got some energy to go. So y'all might catch me on Instagram afterwards. I don't know. But we're going to close it out tonight. Y'all know this is Pronoia Starseed Podcast, and the universe is always working in your favor. Again, I give thanks to the God, Knowledge Born Allah. I give thanks to all the guests that I've had so far. Again, if y'all haven't checked the past episodes, check them out. We are going to be shifting again Starseeds from Facebook over to YouTube beginning in August for sure. So please like, share, and subscribe over there at YouTube. Get the notifications. Click the notification bell so you know when we get ready to go live, because I'll be sending those notifications out. But again, as of August, I'll definitely still be on Facebook, okay? But I just won't be doing all these lives like this here. You'll have to catch me on YouTube. I thank you all for your support. The universe is always working in your favor. This is Pronoia Starseed Podcast, and I'm out. Good night, y'all.
Slowly cooking this vegan stew. Stovetop stuffing sweet potato in the oven. Nag champa burning and blending with sour diesel. On the strength, I swarm like a killer bee do. Lead my vote. Shot the FBI in broad daylight. From the backseat of the trunk in the blue Caprice. Terrorizing the neighborhood, but never my hood. Food for thought, clean your plate up. Get your weight up, raise the bar. Gym rat, cheese face, Mighty Mouse syndrome. Speedy Gonzales, hola, como esta? Guys were made in the belly of the Amistad. Yemen Ya, goddess of the ocean. Love the babies, lyrical potion, call me Dr. Sabi. Detox from that shitty hip-hop. Drink Sanity, slowly cooking this vegan stew. Sweet potato in the oven, nag champa burning. Blending with the sour diesel on the strength. I swarm like a killer bee do.
I got the candles up in here, setting out the vibe right, you know what I mean? Tony. Tony, yeah. Meditation I do on the regular. Most of the time I don't be on my cellular. Mother Nature a vibro, I'm telling you. If I don't keep it real, then I'm failing you. You a guy, they don't want you to know it. You got light that's within and you glowing. Fuck the shit that the Matrix is showing. Only you gon' find out where you going. I can never go back to the old me. If you been out my life, you don't know me. Once I control my mind, I control me. I let go of the lies that they told me. I'ma stand on my words, nigga, boldly. I was trapped, now I'm setting my soul free. Yeah, huh? I was trapped, now I'm setting my soul free. I'm not spending all day on the gram, nigga. I be treating these streets like they fam, nigga. Most my family don't know who I am, nigga. To be honest, I don't give a damn, nigga. Think I'm crazy when they on my channel. There is nothing my mind couldn't handle. Getting grounded, I don't need no sandals. Set the vibe with some incense and candles. You can do what you want, you a god, boy. There's no reason you can't beat the odds, boy. Don't you convict yourself cause you tried, boy. Get back up when you fall like surprise, boy. And stay happy cause you is alive, boy. There's so many that done died, boy. Money won't bring you good vibes, boy. Only peace you gon' find is inside, boy. Meditation I do on the regular. Most of the time I don't be on my cellular. Mother Nature a vibro, I'm telling you. If I don't keep it real, then I'm failing you. You a guy, they don't want you to know it.